All right. Well, looks like we are live. Welcome, everyone. This is Saturday, the 23rd of October already, 2016. And this is the uGameHub.com Sunday afternoon hangout. I have with me John Griffin and Mr. Richard. How is it in now? How are you, Richard? And Mr. Beck, how are you doing, sir?
Good.
We used to talk almost every day. Now it's once here and there during travel. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Okay.
Hanging in there.
I've been trying to keep up with the Titans score right now. I believe we're down by a touchdown.
Okay.
Touchdown and a point. But go ahead. I'm trying to find it.
That's one thing we haven't really talked about. All three of us have our different separate teams and where we live, from Atlanta to the Middle Tennessee area to the Houston area. We got Denver Monday night, and we had a good game last week. But it's interesting. The topic of today's hangout here at uGameHub.com is FireFan is launched, and yes, that's the name of the app, FireFan. I was off. My theory on it was, and all the due diligence that I did, I thought the name was going to be Game On.
Mm-hmm.
Share that with a lot of people, and I apologize if anybody took any action on that. But it is what it is, and we have FireFan. I know a lot of people may not be too geeked up on the name, but as I was explaining earlier, I believe it's a name that's going to grow on you. I think it's a name that's going to do reasonably well, and I think the logo is really nice, and that's going to be the icon or the symbol when you download the app, and the app's on your smartphone. So it's going to be really easy to see, and depending on how they have it and how they download it now, it can actually be the name they use it, but it can actually be moving like a fire, on your phone. So we'll see what it looks like, and but anyway, that's what we got. FireFan, that's the name of it. I think we can say it, but as the cleanup continues with the other side, but it should be a lot of fun. John, what do you think about the name?
I think it's pretty cool. I think the logo's neat. I like you. I thought it was going to be either like Game Day, Game On, or something like that, but irregardless, it's FireFan, and it's I got some little catchy music with it too on some of the videos that are out there that I think will get your attention. But irregardless of what the name is, I just want to play it. So, so we are now only about a week away from it being actually launched. From my understanding, it is at Apple and Google being approved right now. So it won't be long. It won't be long at all.
Okay, yeah, good. Yeah, I do agree with you that I think we're today's the 23rd, so we got 8 more days left in the month, and they're going to launch it. And it's going to be interesting because this coming week, they got that contest going on right now with Gig Stage, whatever that is. I'll have to look at that. But there's 8 days left. They made an announcement on an issue happening on December 10th. I'm not going to talk about it, but on December 10th. But so a lot of stuff has to happen before that. In order for them to take what's going to happen on the 10th of December. So. I think that, you're exactly right. You had mentioned earlier, I think that, you thought they would launch toward the end of the month. Well, it's obviously that's what's going to happen. So, this coming week, the interesting thing is what day are they going to launch it? Are they going to launch it on, even if they launch it on Monday, let's say they launched it on October 31st, you got Monday Night Football. You know how overloaded that's going to be. Sunday, I can't see them launching it on a Sunday.
Well, I can tell you what I'm hearing. They're going to launch it on a Tuesday, which will be the day after Monday Night Football, to give a couple of days before the Thursday night game, and then obviously gives people the entire week to set up their games for Sunday. And oddly enough, November the 1st is a huge day.
Yeah. So you think it's going to be November 1st instead of this coming?
Here's what I've been, and everybody's guessing. So don't take whatever I'm saying as the gospel. But I have been on some calls with some other people that I think most people agree that it's going to be on a Tuesday because of the kind of get past the bulk of the Sunday night, Monday to get to there's a little time to set up. So that would be either next Tuesday or the 1st. So it is possible that they could do it on a Friday, which would be this coming Friday, because that gives everybody a couple of days to set up for the Sunday football. But if I was going to be betting on when it launches, I would bet on November the 1st.
Well, here's some food for thought, and that is, and I do like your logic on that. The only logic I don't like is that they told us it would be in October. Obviously they don't have to do it, but they could do it Monday night. I mean, they could do it Monday night at 11:59. Yes, it's still in October. The games are all over. It's Halloween night. No one's going to do anything really. One thing that does make sense, on November 1st is, from a status of the things we can't talk about. It makes sense to launch it on the 1st of the month. It keeps everything somewhat organized.
I would think that the logic of Monday night after the game is valid because it is it's from what I can gather, it's really all about the players having enough time to go download it. I mean, we'd all like to think everybody would jump in there on the same second and download, a million downloads. But realistically, that's not going to happen. It's going the downloads will happen over a few days, but it still gives everybody a chance to acquire those free tokens that we've talked about, set up their games for the coming week, and to really get in and learn more about how it's played, which is obviously a big reason they should come to this time slot when we're telling them how it's played. Because I've also been told that, there really won't be a whole big set of instructions on how to play the game. I mean, the logic that they've used is, Candy Crush, Angry Birds, all of those games, people just download it and start playing and they figure it out. And that's true. So that's even more reason for people to tune in to uGameHub while we talk about how all the things to do, and we can hopefully shorten that learning curve by people tuning in and going to the web channel and YouTube channels to watch the replays.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, we'll wait and see. And this week has a lot in store for it. For what we're going to be doing here with United Games and FireFan, I guess is what we should be really labeling it at. But I've got a couple more screen shares that I'm working on for next week, and I guess technically next week, which will be a week from today, will be the 30th of October, and we could have it launched, or we could just be hours away from the launch. So, which is most likely. But we'll wait and see. And I like some of the things that they're doing from our side, and from a player's perspective. And if you're not a player yet, click on one of the links on this website, or give John or Richard a call and join to be a player and have a lot of fun playing the game. And make sure you come back and watch our old videos, or watch our videos coming up to learn how to play the game, because that's all we do here at uGameHub.com is teach people how to play the game, score the most points, and get the most tokens. So we got a lot of things that we're going to spin off in the future that we're exploring, and in regards to the different types of hangouts we'll be doing, the live casts we'll be doing, teaching people how to play the game. And because that's all we want to do here is teach people how to play the game and score the most points. And it's kind of interesting, During the cleanup session, I think I was talking to you, John, about it. We got a couple clicks on. We had some NFL games going on in our background. And we actually used the app and on how we with a couple NFL games. And that's one of the reasons why we have these hangouts at 1 o'clock on a Sundays, because there's NFL games going on right now. And I do expect to play the game with the NFL games going on and show you exactly how to do it, doing screen shares and everything else. And the only reason why we can do it is that we've got approval from the NFL to do it. And if anybody questions that, I can obviously send them whatever they want to know or show them whatever they want to know. But unless you have that kind of approval, you can't do it, or you're not supposed to do it. Let's put it that way. They'll come down on you. They'll come down on you real quick. And in fact, that's actually what they did to us, or me, actually, personally, or on the website. And then I was able to show them everything, and they were perfectly fine with it, but they realize they're compensated. So it worked out well. But how we're going to go about doing this in the future, showing people how to play the game, is going to be quite interesting, because it can spin off to a lot of different things. And we've elaborated a little bit on that in previous Hangouts. To once get the game out, and as each one of us go on these Hangouts and share our experiences and how we've played the game and the nuances, and idiosyncrasies that we have, with each game, each team. I was just watching Minnesota-Philadelphia game. They had 5 turnovers in the first quarter. Yeah, they had 5 turnovers in the first quarter of that game.
Wow.
And I don't even know what the score is now. I haven't looked at it, but they had 5 turnovers in the first game. Now, what was the chances of that happening? Could you make a call on that or answer a question on that?
Oh, yeah. Let me give you another one real quick. Titan game, their first touchdown was a tackle eligible pass.
Oh, wow.
I mean, who would have maybe called that? But yeah, we had Taylor Lewan, number 77, lined up, and the end stepped back, made him eligible. Mariota went to the right, threw back to the left, touchdown with a lineman. That's something that really doesn't happen very often.
Just out of curiosity, why was it called back?
It wasn't called back.
Oh, it wasn't. Oh, I thought you said it was called back.
No. The end stepped back, uncovering him, making him eligible for a pass, and we were on about the 8-yard line.
Okay.
So pretty interesting.
Well, once they incorporate some college football too, we had some crazy action yesterday. I mean, Ohio State loses to Penn State.
Wow.
U of H gets blown out by SMU. Alabama just continues to roll. That's a juggernaut. I don't think anybody can stop. You might as well give them the national championship now. The blowout A&M 38 or 33-16, and wasn't even that close. It's just interesting that I'm anxious to see soccer too. I mean, when we talked about, I just was alluding to these different Hangouts we'll do, and that's the angle I'm looking at here is that we're going to do Hangouts could be strictly for teams, could be strictly for leagues. It will be strictly for leagues, I can tell you that. We may just do one Hangout specifically targeting Manchester United, and their upcoming game, and that Hangout is strictly for that, to show you how to set up the preset, and then how to play the game, what to look for during the game, and then we'll play the game. And that might be a 3-hour Hangout, and we'll play the game together, or play the app together, during the entire game, So it's going to be interesting how this whole thing spins out. One of the things I am absolutely convinced, and Richard, you can kind of chat in on this when, if you got some thought. John, obviously, I know you do too as well. But as I mentioned, I think this FireFan name is going to grow on you. I think the whole app is going to grow on you as well. I don't think it's going to get the blowout pomp and circumstance and Pokemon type of reaction, that everyone thought it might at the very beginning once it's launched. I think all of the people that are involved right now that have been involved, like we are obviously going to download the game and begin to play it. But it's going to take, I think it's going to take every bit of 3, 6, 9 months before it really, really, it becomes something, and this is just my opinion, maybe sooner than that, maybe not as much as 9 months, but I don't think it's going to be a Pokemon out of the gate. I think it's going to take some time, and it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, but
just depends on how many players, share the idea of it, and how many people catch on and share it with their friends, and it could go a Pokemon type thing too. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of how those shares go, I think.
Yeah, in my opinion, the only difference is people are familiar and associated and comfortable with Pokemon.
Right.
They have been for years. Now they came out with this really cool app that you can play Pokemon Go or whatever it's called, and have some fun with it. I think it brought it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
I think the app's to another level, and I think that this game, FireFan, is going to bring it even to another level above and beyond that.
Oh, what other app is there that you can actually participate, interact in a live event? It doesn't matter when we say live that you could actually be either at your home or you could be sitting in the stadium. You're still live. You're double live it that way. But yeah, that's amazing.
It's going to be interesting, on how it looks. I'm a little actually curious on, I know it's not, it's not a like a FanDuel or one of those types of applications. It's not designed to compete or even be like that. And it's not a gambling type of app either. So I'm curious on how Vegas will look at it, or what will come out of Las Vegas, the actual gaming side of it. They can't do anything with the app, but I'm curious on how those guys are going to interpret it. Will it influence the line at all? I doubt it. But the outcome might be interesting. When you start looking at how people are playing it, and I can tell you one thing that's going to happen. This is one thing I haven't ever shared on these Hangouts yet. And John, you'll like this. You probably have seen things like this before. Richard, I'm not sure if you have or not. Maybe have, but let's say we have a game. The Giants and Green Bay are playing on November 1st. Okay, and so it's 2 weeks out. I'd be willing to bet within time you're going to have an API you can hook up to, and you can actually see the aggregate consolidated numbers of everyone that does the pre-launch or the pregame side of the app. So you have 15 questions answered, right, in the pregame, and you're going to be able to tell 260,000 people predicted Green Bay is going to win, or 70,000 predicted, 2 interceptions. And those statistics, I can tell you, are very important. That tells you not doesn't know what they're talking about. So when you've got that many people, researching and looking at it, the consolidated numbers, of everyone, to me is quite valuable. And to the smart people, it is very valuable.
Yeah, especially after they have a few opportunities to have those numbers and to see how correct they actually are. As far as the numbers, and if they're not going to do that, they should, because that would be an interesting. That'd just be one of those kind of interesting statistics that people could begin to connect with to drive them to play the game.
Yeah. I think numbers like that, those numbers will come out API. I don't think they're going to come out anytime soon. They got much bigger fish to fry right now, but I think maybe next year, you'll be able to tap in and see what those numbers actually are. even live, even a 4th and 2, is this going to be a run or is this going to be a pass? 87% say run, 27% say pass. Things like that I think are going to be incorporated into the game. And then at the end of the game, you can see how many people were correct. Or what was the percentage that was correct. And go from there. I can tell you one of my biggest, Super Bowl, picks or wagers, if you will, is a 2-point conversion. In a Super Bowl, and those odds are huge odds. You not say huge, but they're usually 6 to 8 to 1, something like that, on a successful 2-point conversion. I think it's like 2 to 1 on that. There is a 2-point conversion, or a 2-point play, actually, is what they call it, because that includes safeties as well. A successful 2-point conversion, is 11 to 1, 8 to 1, something like that, and those are really good odds, at the Super Bowl. That's one of my favorite, other than the coin toss. I like the coin toss. That's actually one of the easiest ones to pick. The coin toss. Did you know this, John?
What's that?
Yeah, Richard knows. Richard knows I talk about this first. The coin toss is one of the easiest wagers to pick on any game.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's straight up 50-50. It's one of the easiest ones to pick. To this or that. So easy to pick. So anyway, thank you, viewers, for checking in with the game. The game is FireFan. Sorry, and we'll be back next week with another week. And sorry, this one we try to fill as much content as we can, and there's a lot of stuff going on. You just got to pay attention. I kind of interpret this window right here to a PO almost, where you kind of want to be quiet, or they want you to be quiet, not too loud about stuff, and take care of business. Clean up the desk and get ready for the big launch. And it's kind of the way I feel about it a little bit.
They are expecting that on the day the game that it will pass Pokemon Go in initial first day downloads. Pokemon Go had 50,000, and they're expecting to surpass that because of the pre-registration period that they've had with players, and they're still able to pre-register now. Now, how that will play out over time, as far as being able to get 500 million downloads in 90 days, is obviously yet to be seen. But first day downloads, because people are pre-registering now, and anybody out there that's listening to this, you can pre-register now, and there will be, from what I have been told, some peripheral benefits for registering early. I don't know what those will be. They've talked about tokens. They've talked about possible, extra player reward points to be redeemed in the locker room. But you're going to be able to get something that others will not get if you are pre-registered, which has been the enticement for people to get pre-registered up to this point. So we'll see if that happens. But if it does, this will make the media channels because of it beating Pokemon. Because Pokemon is thought to be the biggest ever on that first day. So we'll see we'll see if it can get past the election rhetoric that's going on out there.
Really, for sure. I'd love to see that happen. Like I always say with stuff like this, proof's in the pudding. They've got almost 300,000, they say, registered, players already. So, if everyone downloads the game, and most everybody's excited about it, ready to play, so I can see 300,000 downloads the first day or more, the first day, and and go from there. And you're right, 500 million in 90 days. That's astronomical as far as I'm concerned. That what a wonderful opportunity that would be, for guys like us if that actually occurred. So that would be really, really neat and good for that to happen. So anyway, closing comments, Richard?
Oh, I just think it's great that, you know, we're that much closer to getting the app in hand. And, you know, we want everybody that's been watching these up to this point, come on back, because the content's going to be seriously about showing you how the tips and insider information on playing the game, basically. And so
yeah.
I think you're going to enjoy this. We're dying to get to it. But.
Very good, very good, very good. John, anything you want to add before I wrap this up?
I just echo what Richard said. I mean, we're all looking forward to playing it, and you know, we will be playing it and playing it a lot. So the tips and the insight that we'll be able to give the viewers should be very valuable.
No, I agree. And you know, as we get close, we got a week left, and then we get to play. So, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. And you guys, you viewers watching us wherever you are, you know, tune back in next week, and hopefully, you know, the weeks afterwards, we'll give you, you know, cut, you know, up to minute, you know, on how to play the game and watch us as we play the game. We'll also share with you some of the new schedules we'll be having for the other hangouts specifically related to not only the leagues but the games as well. But we certainly thank you for taking the time to check in with us today. You know, whether you're watching this live or on a replay, thank you for checking in. And even if you're listening on one of the internet stations we broadcast on the internet, thank you, you know, for checking in with us. And we'll be back next week, the 30th of October, with an update and hopefully some more news to share with you as well, and insights as well. So, you know, as my older brother would tell me, you know, buckle up, Buttercup. You know, here we go. You know, we got a little bit, you know, another little bit more time, and then we're off to the races. So we look forward to you viewers joining us, and we help any way we can, showing you how to play the game. So from John and Richard, myself, thank you everyone for viewing, and we'll see everyone next week, October 30th, 1 p.m. Sunday, the 30th. Take care, everyone. Thanks again.